What's good, everybody? It's your boy Big Nate. Welcome to Big Nate's Book Reactions, home of the best book reactions. And today we've got another dope ass reaction video for you in store. Long story short, earlier this morning I was reading Symbols in the Interpretation of Dreams by Carl Jung, and he talked about how as a nation and just within the individual psyche as well, and I talked in another video, those are actually related. The individual is a microcosm of society. That's according to Plato, but don't quote me. Actually, you can't quote me. But anyway, the idea of the divided national consciousness, the divided self, where he says so many times we don't even, like, you know, he says something like the right hand doesn't know what, has no idea of what the left hand is doing, like that type of thing, where we can be in a, there can be things affecting our actions and behaviors and our thoughts that we're not even really sort of conscious of, and dual aspects of this. Anyway, so he's made other examples of that, like with, for instance, the Berlin Wall and, you know, the Iron Curtain or whatever that shit was. But anyway, long story short, I say all that to say this. When he was talking about the right hand has no idea what the left hand is doing, he's speaking purely psychologically, like in terms of the human mind. But then I'm thinking, like, because what it comes to mind for me, because I have a little bit of background in neuroscience, you would say, is the idea of the split brain patients, where it's like you literally have the case where it's like somebody, I mentioned this in another video, but it's like, you know, they're just standing, left hand opens the drawer or does some crazy shit, like unbuttons your shirt, like unbuttons your own shirt, and then the person reports, like, you know, I don't know why I did that, I just did that. You know, they close the drawer with the right hand, but button it back up with the right hand, and then the left hand, boom, does that shit again. And it's like this, it can get super. So, and okay, I'm not gonna go into depth in it, but point is, I mentioned that there were videos actually demonstrating this, and I'm pretty sure I've seen this video like a long time ago, years ago, for a class, but it's split brain behavioral experiment. So that shit sounded absolutely fire and worthy of a reaction video. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
I know the left hemisphere and right hemisphere now are working independently.
Sorry, split brain is because basically you have two hemispheres of the brain. They're more or less identical. Different hemispheres actually do have some degree of specialization. Like, I think it's, oh, I should really know this, but I'm pretty sure the left hemisphere has uniquely has like language areas, like Broca's area and Wernicke. I'm pretty sure. Could it be? Anyway, point, you have two hemispheres. They basically do the same thing. You can have people live completely normal lives with pretty much normal lives with half their hemispheres completely removed, just like one half of the brain. So that in itself is really interesting. And I wonder if they dream. Oh my God. Okay. Put a pin in that. There's a little thing called the corpus callosum that connects two hemispheres. That's what they mean by split brain, because it's supposed to help with seizures and shit.
Independent of each other, but you don't notice it. Now you just kind of adapt to it. It doesn't. You don't have any feeling. It doesn't feel any different than it did before.
7 years ago, Joe had brain surgery to allay the effects of severe epilepsy.
Well, I tell you,
his surgeon cut the nerve fibers connect.
That's what happened with HM. If there's maybe HM would be a cool video. The guy who like can't. If you've taken cognitive neuroscience classes, these things are just like annoying to hear about. It's like, bro, shut up, we get it. But if you're not familiar with this stuff, is really crazy. HM, I won't even get into it.
Connecting his left hemisphere with his right. While the operation was a complete success, Joe's unusual case offers an extraordinary insight into the machinery of mind.
The machinery of mind.
This fiber system, the corpus callosum, is located midway between the two.
Sorry, I really gave a whole explanation when they're about to give one. That's on me.
Two hemispheres.
I'll take responsibility for that.
When it was surgically severed in Joe's brain, the transmission of information between the two hemispheres was halted. Michael Gazzaniga.
What we can do is play tricks by putting information into his disconnected, mute, non-talking right hemisphere and watch it produce behaviors.
Dude,
and out of that, we can really see that
this is literally, I think, the experiment I mentioned in the last video. So this is about to be fire.
There is, in fact, a reason to believe that there's all kinds of complex processes going on outside of his conscious awareness of his left half brain. Joe, I'm going to show you some things. I just want...
Dude. This is what I'm saying. Oh my God. I wonder if the unconscious has to do with, like, I wonder if each hemisphere represents like conscious and unconscious. I don't know if that would really make sense, but because this is the thing too, when you go to sleep, the brain activity is more or less indistinguishable from when you're awake. Like your brain is fully in dream state, at least in dream state, your brain is fully, it's as if you're like going by about your normal day. Explain that shit. And then dolphins go to sleep with, don't they like put one half of their brain to sleep and then the other? Bro, what the fuck? That's crazy.
I want you to tell me what you see. And here we go. You ready? Look right at the dot.
Okay, so that only, well, let's see what he says, but I forget what I'm pretty sure the right side of the visual field goes to the left brain, left part of the visual field goes to the right brain, right side, visual cortex, and it's desessication.
Okay.
Desiccation.
Okay, you ready? Look right at the dot.
Okay.
Grapes.
Good.
So far,
When
so
Joe
good.
focuses on a point, right at the dot, everything to the right of the point goes to his left brain, the dominant hemisphere for language and speech.
Right.
So we can see.
I do believe the right is more spatial and mathematical, but I don't know if that's me buying into like the right brain, left brain, whatever.
Here that when we flash a word or a picture,
Tree.
Joe is easily able to name it.
Light work.
See it.
Oh.
Close your eyes and let your left hand do it.
See, that shit's crazy. Dude, didn't see it. Because the left side of the brain is the talk brain. That's crazy. So the right side did see it, maybe. But it just can't talk that.
Work here.
But then, boom, he said, draw it. And what do you know, bro? Technically,
Yeah,
that's
what
a
do you
pot. Technically, that's a pot. But bro drew a pan.
There.
Dude, and what the fuck? Because the whole thing with the dreams and the unconscious is it speaks in symbols, in pictorial language. Very little actual language going on in dreams. And like mythologies, and really like the origin of mythology is like cave paintings to me type shit, which is symbolic, pictorial. Oh my god.
Pan.
Okay, very good. Now, when a word or a picture falls to the left of a fixation point, that
we need some
information
of
goes
this.
to his disconnected right half brain. And as we can see here, Joe is unable to name it. Joe is able to draw the picture with his left hand.
What in tar
the left
fucking
hand
nation?
getting its major control from the right half brain. What did you draw?
Okay.
What did you see?
Wheel on one side. I don't know what I saw on the other.
So even though he can't name it, his left hand is
Bro is adding detail to that motherfucker too. Bro is adding detail. WTF? Oh, sheesh Louise. Goodness golly gracious, that shit's crazy.
able to draw out a picture of the stimulus of the picture or word that we presented to his right half brain. What did you see?
Hammer.
Saw a hammer.
So just close your eyes and draw with your left hand.
Oh, would you look at
There you
that?
go.
It's a motherfucking saw. Well, I'll be. What? He's adding detail with the chit.
That's nice. What's that?
It would appear to be a
Saw.
saw. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. What'd you see?
Hammer.
So why'd you draw? I think he actually says that.
What'd you draw that for?
I don't know.
What we have with Joe is a
I don't know, he said. I don't know.
just a dramatic example of a neurologic case that really allows you this window into the non-conscious and how powerful non-conscious processes are at influencing our conscious self, our personal self.
He's literally talking, that could have been from Carl Jung's freaking mouth, bro. That's the undiscovered self, is integrating that aspect of your psyche with you, those non-conscious processes, that side of yourself which communicates to you through dreamery.
What Joe and patients like him, and there are many of them, teaches us is that the mind is made up of a constellation of independent, semi-independent, agents,
Semi-independent.
and that these agents, these processes can carry on a vast number of activities outside of our conscious awareness. Even though that goes on, there's some final stage or some final system, which I happen to think is in the left hemisphere, that pulls all of this information together into a theory. It has to generate a theory to...
Him talking about extracting all that information and bringing it, compressing it into like a point, that's literally how they talk about the conscious. I'm pretty sure it was Freud compares it to the tip of an iceberg. The ego consciousness, the everyday is just the tip of the iceberg. The unconscious processes are what's subterranean, which you also find as a theme in dreams. Descent into the basement, down, dark, below places. Coincidence it must be.
In all of these independent elements. And so, and that theory becomes our particular theory of ourself and of the world.
How are they going to drop cave paintings at the very end? Because that is rife with meaning.
Particular theory of ourself and of the world.
Those are cave paintings. Yeah, bro. That's what I was just talking about with the pictorial. And that's like all Jung and Campbell. That's them to the T. Like I said, Gazzaniga, what he was saying here could have been from them. But okay. Well, I had a good time. I hope you did too. If so, consider smashing that subscribe button, as a matter of fact, and get to my Instagram for real, Big Nate's Book Reviews, which is some of the best book reviews. It's lit over there. And as well, get to my podcast, Big Nate Short Story Club, home of the best short story club. And I'll be remiss if you did not join the Big Nate Discord, home of the best discords. Thank you in the meantime for watching Big Nate's Book Reactions, home of the best book reactions.